Do those look like sticks that are on fire?
Well, if it does, then that would make a lot of sense because that's what this plant is called. Sticks on fire. What a great name, huh? So, yeah, that is
Euphorbia tirucalli from Africa, South Africa. And this is a euphorbia. And now, not sure the whole story, but I do know that this plant is typically green in habitat. And something happened along the way where somebody probably saw a little sprout on the side that was bright orange and isolated it, and it was a mutation. And the next thing you know, it ends up out here in California as sticks on fire.
I probably should have done the research, let you know exactly how that came to be.
But what I know about this plant is that it is just a wonderful batch of color, and the texture on it. It looks like coral, like if you were snorkeling and you're kind of like going around. You're like, those are the bubbles, and you're going, wow, that is a huge coral head there. Look at that thing. Now you see, I've been real smart about the contrast here because that is a Cook Island pine behind it. That's a whole nother story. I should do a video on that. That's a great plant. Yeah, let's stick to the point. I think I have ADHD a little bit, as you can tell. Anyway, I get off point. But let's talk about sticks on fire right now. Now, this is a great plant to use. I'm down here in San Diego at my growing ground just up the street, but I just saw the beautiful coloration in this plant. Had to pull over and take a video because I'm a plant stalker by nature. Up in the Bay Area, it probably gets a little too wet, and the clay soil there is not conducive to this plant that well, and because of that, it's probably better to grow this plant. You can grow this plant. We have it growing in the nursery in a pot with succulent mix. Well, what that means is it gets really good drainage, okay? I think if you don't provide the best drainage up there, you have a really wet, cold, clammy winter, you know, you could have some rot in this plant. But ways to create drainage, they've kind of done somewhat of it here. You can build upraised planters and retain them with rocks, basically bake mounds and then add sand and gravel to your soil. Ideally, no clay at all, just a sandy loam. And then you'll have really good drainage. You can grow this plant. Otherwise, this plant will survive fine as long as it doesn't rot from like nasty clay, wet, danky soil. Imagine if you were in there all winter, you'd probably rot too. But anyway, it's super drought tolerant. And this is the middle of January, not even the middle, early January. So it's like the coldest time of the year. And you can still see this plant provides tons of color. It'll actually lighten up quite a bit over time until midsummer when it gets its best color of all, and it'll be like bright orange. I probably should have took the video then, but I wanted to show you in the middle of winter, look at the color and the form you can create from this plant. And we usually have this plant in the nursery. So, but look real closely at that color. Look at that color. And then I will leave you be. All right. You heard it here first. True Plant Stories, Gary Gregg reporting. Vista, California.